Everywhere you go, everywhere you look, there's just stuff that's going wrong. And I said, do you know what a Schelling point is? And he goes, no. And I said, we're in Paris. And I say, I'm going to meet you at midday. Where are you going to be? And he goes, the Eiffel Tower. So of course you're going to be, that's the Schelling point. So when the world is in just a real pretzel and no one really knows how to, like, where do I put my money? And he was saying that he went out for like a golfing weekend with some of his mates. And he asked, how many of you guys know what's in your, we call it superannuation, your 401k? How many of you guys know what's in your 401k? They're all retired. And he goes, none of them had a single clue what was in, what they'd invested in. They had no idea. And he's like, what are your fees? They're like, I don't know. I've never checked. This is kind of where a lot of people are. So if you come back to that view, when people start to finally click and go, I'm struggling to retire and the things I own, yeah, sure, I'm getting 6%, 8% a year, but my bread just went up 25% in 3 years. Like, something's wrong. I'm not earning enough to stay solvent. What are they going to do? They're going to look around. Just like, gold is just that Schelling point where people go, I get it. You don't have to explain gold to anyone. They just understand that it's valuable because it's gold. It's kind of as simple as it gets. So that's kind of the dynamic, I think, why gold makes sense. I think Bitcoin, it's just, I mean, gold's just got the size and the scale and the central banks and all that. But Bitcoin is the only other asset that has even a remote potential to achieve that. And I was talking about this the other day. Once Bitcoin, I mean, it's already at 10% of the gold market cap. And by the way, the gold market cap going up is just raising the ceiling for where Bitcoin's going. It's just lifting up where that target is. As more people start to click that these two things are synonymous, and in a way, we've, again, Bitcoin has kind of memed that with digital gold. Call it an affinity scam if you want, but we've basically associated ourselves with the only other asset that's kicking ass. People are going to start saying, well, maybe if it's 10%, what happens if Bitcoin goes to 20% of the gold market cap? Once you're at 20, go to 50. And once you're at 50, let's go the whole way. Like, if you can prove that you're at 50%, go the whole way. Because if the market's willing to support that kind of evaluation, then why wouldn't it go higher than that?
I've always loved the concept of smart money. The smart money's doing this. The smart money's in here. The smart money's allocating here. Because we live in a inverted world, right? Everything is inverted. So what that means is that the smart money is the dumb money. How can you call yourself smart money when you're late to Bitcoin, right? They're saying the smart money's, allocating to Bitcoin now. That's not the smart money. If they were smart money, they'd have been here 2 cycles ago. They're the dumb money. And they've always really been the dumb money. But they've been the banker, monopoly banker, right? So everyone had to play by their rules. But that's where Bitcoin comes in and kind of flips the table on everyone. Smart money. What a crock of shit. Smart money. Just the balls on them. The balls to claim that they're the smart money. It's incredible. But nothing ceases to amaze me anymore. Over on the 4-hour chart, 123.5, I say we're having a little, a pump for ants. Essentially, we've been consolidating down here at the 23.6% fib. We wanted to get up and over. This is where we were yesterday, right here. We wanted to get up and over the 20 and retest resistance of this channel of ascension. We did just that. Threw a wick over, denied all the way back to retest. See, this is we're just existing within a market that's not moving. So outside of dad's rules, which are the fundamentals, we'll just be ranging. And then it comes down to how many bots are bullish, how many bots are bearish. And right now they're just kind of battling back and forth. There was a phone in. Booze Breath Jerry Papo did a phone in today at 7:30. I had my screen recording it. I thought, waiting for big news, and it was just basically, hey everybody, I'm working today, or I'm traveling today, so I won't be there with you in your Holiday Inn situation there. But just wanted to say hi and see ya. It was like 1.5, 2 minutes. Absolutely nothing. And then Scott Bessent started talking. Secretary of Treasury Scott Bessent was there. He's just talking about absolutely nothing. He just kind of goes on and doesn't really say much, you know. He reminds me of somebody that Will Ferrell would have impersonated back in the SNL days. He just kind of sits there and does nothing, just says, reiterates the same thing. A bunch of financial word salad, really. And then here we are above the 20 moving average, which, you know, kind of got to be. I suppose it's bullish. It's more bullish than it is bearish, I suppose. We want to be over the 20 moving average. We can see the MACD down here is about to curl over bullish, which is, you know, it's a 4-hour chart though, so it doesn't really matter. Who really cares? Let's take a look at the ding dong. What the hell happened here? That's a bullish hammer candle so far. But we're early because this is today's candle, right? So we did fight back. We did fight back. See where this one. I mean, I won't be bullish again. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm hella bullish. But as far as like the day-to-day boredom of this market, I won't have the rally cap on until we're above closing the candles at 124.6 again. It's just kind of that easy. Randy Collins, silver. That's right, silver. Remember, I was the crazy uncle that gave the nephews and nieces bars of silver. And I think they were $25 when I bought them. They probably don't even have them anymore. That's all right. They've doubled, but if it breaks 50 today, I'm not sure if it has broke 50. What's this? Oh, this is another weekly. Let's see if I can get the silver chart up here. Whoa, Dilver. I'm on a weird angle here. See the silver chart. Where are we? Look at that one. Holy smokes, we broke 50. 51 silvers. This is why this is a pretty crazy. See, we haven't hit silver. The last time it approached 50 was, I think, the Hunt brothers when they tried to corner the market, and then Soros came in. And, but that was 49, 50. I think it never really hit 50. This is a big deal. This signal to the market breaking $50. So I used to know so much about silver and gold back in the day. 1980 was the Hunt brothers. No. Carl Elder, you keep talking about starting to sell in Canadistan, but I think you need to come down to the States and do that. We will be the last line drawn in the say, yeah. And that's right. You're the last standing army. Because you got the guns. You got the guns. It's as simple as that. Why do you think they want to get rid of the guns? Holy shit. Why do you think they want to get rid of the guns? Because they don't want a standing army. It's really, say what you will about United States. It will go down in history about maybe saving freedom to a certain degree. Because it's really the last country. I mean, we have an illusion of freedom, you know, up in Canada. But that's being encroached on. Very simple. Thank you very much for the super chat. Carl Elder. Much appreciated. So, 1980, Hunt Brothers, 49.50, and then into a bear market. I think the last time, and then in 2011, I think it was rallying due to the recession, the great financial recession of 2008. And it almost hit 50 again. Now, I think my numbers might be a little off here, but it never really broke 50. So this breaking 50 it's a big deal. I mean, I know silver and gold, it's for boomers, right? But this is a massive signal to the market that shit's real. Like, for silver to go up to 50 and break it, That's crazy. You know, and I don't get excited that much about certain things, but this is a massive deal. Silver breaking 51. Wow. E-money 50 ain't 50 anymore. That's true. Adjusted for inflation, it isn't, but it's still a signal and a milestone, right? 50 is 50 as far as signals concerned. As far as purchasing power is, no, it's not the same. You're right. We'll see where this candle plays out too. That's crazy. Wow. 51. That's a big deal. It's a big deal, folks. And it's a real game changer. It could signal, like, we know we're in a mad dash for hard currency, for hard assets. We know that. That's why we're the smart money. The dumb money, or the smart money, you know, they're just catching on. You see in the headlines a lot, this debasement trade, right? We've been in the debasement trade, everyone in this community, for years. They're the smart money. Isn't it just so rich, though? You know, like we sit here and preach about Bitcoin for years, and then they have the audacity to call themselves smart money. It's just you can't write that shit. The smart money, the debasement trade. Yeah, we've been in the debasement trade for years. You know, taking the slack, walking out the door, and everyone going, "What is wrong with that guy?" Right? That's what we've been dealing with our whole lives. So let's see. Bullishly speaking, I'd like to start closing candles on the daily chart above 124.6. Other than that, we're probably just going to bingo, bango, bongo in the 23.6% fib. Now, the 23.6% fib is also this old channel of eternal monotony, which we broke through less than 48 hours. You know, we didn't spend any time here, but we did back here. You know, we have spent a certain amount of time. I'm going to keep these arrows here. Because this is, maybe, do I have eyeballs again, dude? Can I put eyeballs here? Where's my pictures? Do I have pictures on this anymore? That's the heart. These are all black and white too. Where's my eyeballs? But I had eyeballs on this stupid thing. They definitely weren't black and white. Can I search? It's valuable time eating up here. Oh, well. We'll think about that. Eyeballs on October 20th because it's the last. It's where we peaked in the 2021 bull market on November 10th. Was it January 10th, 1980? 49.50 for silver. I'm still reeling from that. It's big news. Pretty big news. Also, we'll see. We'll see how big it is. You know, it depends. Like, so when back to the debasement trade. It feels like they're actually trying to sell. Like they've come up with a slogan, because that's all they do is they're basically sloganeers, right? How are we going to sell this shit? All right, let's call it. I know, I got it. Yes, Jerry, HR. The debasement trade, because you know the dollar's getting debased. Don't you say that. Anyway, that's what it is. It's a big slogan, which is bullish. Right, it's bullish for Bitcoin because they've formed a marketing scheme. The sloganeers have come up with it. Does this mean recession is coming when gold and silver demand hitting highs? I think historically speaking, it's a signal that something's hella broken. Right now we have levers in this day and age to survive. So. It's always been the humble opinion of this piano that we are in a planned demolition, right? So we're just seeing the, like, if the economy was one of those old buildings, we're seeing the silent explosions, you know, like the ones you saw in 9/11. What? Remember in 9/11 when we saw those explosions? That would, hey, what's that? And silver and gold is one of those explosions before the building, the economy itself, the fiat currency dollar, monetary practice of a fake currency, implodes into itself. And that's what we're seeing. Normally, I think back in 2011 or 1980, I don't think 1980 after 1979, there was a real monetary. We have the escape lever of Bitcoin. So things are different. There is a boat. You know those boats that go off the cruise ship and they blow up themselves? That's Bitcoin. They didn't have that before. And now they do. So things are going to be different moving forward. Normally, yeah, I think that would be a pretty good indicator that there is a recession. But who? It's only the smart money that says we're not in a recession. All you have to do is look with your eyes, and you can see we are knee deep. Maybe even we're coming out of a recession. I don't know. We've been in a recession for a long time, although the smart money has gaslit everyone. Oh, things are great. Things are great. Commercial real estate, shut your mouth. Don't talk about that. We left that out. Commercial real estates with Rubik's Cubes and VHS machines, we don't factor that in. Bankruptcies, I said shut your mouth. I'm not going to say it again. Bankruptcies, commercial real estate, Rubik's Cubes, VHS. We're not counting those things. Food inflation, that's 3 times. You're out of here, Jerry, from HR. We don't talk about food inflation, okay? The only inflation we talk about is the ones that are going down. You know, certain technologies are going down. If you open your goddamn mouth again about food inflation, you're going to start thinking, it's going to start sounding like we're in a recession, folks. Now, one of my factors, of course, is the only thing I eat, which are, ribeyes. Kenny Carniel, right on it. A steak used to be about $8 for 2 ribeyes. $8 for 2 ribeyes? You mean in 1980 when the Hunt brothers pushed the price up to $49.50? I was just about to say, steak prices are 100% up. 100%. I know they don't include that, right? They'll say, oh, no, we're down to 2%. We're all very comfortable with stealing 2% of your purchasing power. For some reason, that's okay. No one questions it because we're the dumb money, right? They're the smart money. We're the dumb money. It's unbelievable. Yeah, so food inflation is insane up here. I don't know if it's as bad down in the States, but it's pretty crazy here. I mean, that's the only metric I have is ribeye. And what I love most about basically eating ribeyes and butter and ground beef is like how much of a cartoon character grocery stores look like. Like from the moment you walk in, it's almost like you're in some sort of food Disneyland, where it's like just, all these characters from Disneyland are on the shelves. Buy me, I'm good. I'm good for you. I have natural flavors. Asterisk, some restrictions may apply. Actual, not natural flavors. Natural flavors include sugar, and all these. You know what I'm saying. And you just head right to the steak. One ingredient. Now, are there hidden hormones and chemicals in there? Yeah. Is Duke losing his mind up there? We'll see. What could possibly go around upstairs? And then just the concept of one. That's the beauty of the carnivore diet. I won't say I'm on a carnivore diet. I do eat some fruit and butter, and I'm not full retard on it. Pretty close, 95%. But it's just the one ingredient. It's nice for your body. One ingredient. The Plinko chip doesn't have all these weird little things to hit, right? It's just nutritionally, it's like tick, 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 straight down. Does what it has to do. Kenny Colonel, I think about raising cows now. Yeah, no shit. I think that's the only way, especially with digital IDs coming down the pipe, it's going to be hard to fight that. Like, I mean, how do you buy food if they shut off your bank account because of digital ID? You need to know a farmer. And I know some people with shoe boxes of $5 bills. Let's just put it that way. And they think, well, I'll be okay with cash. I was like, well, if you can find other black market cash acceptors, but it's not like you can go to a store with cash once the digital IDs, because you'll probably have to swipe just to enter into the contract of purchaser, right? Just put your digital ID there, because why would they have a digital ID if you don't put it everywhere you go when you spend your money, right? So anyway, enough about that. I had in my vids for later. Oh yeah, I wanted to play this one because this is how I basically feel for the past. Well, I'd say most of my life actually, but it gets hotter and hotter and hotter as I get older. But this will sum it up for most of you as well.
I think it's important to remind everyone that the only reason why we're not yet living in a 15-minute city on 23-hour lockdown, wearing masks, eating bugs, getting a cancerous shot in our body every other week, plugged into a hive mind to slave away to the elite, it's because of us. It's because of us who went on the streets at every opportunity since 2020. It's because of the truckers in Canada, the farmers in Europe. It's because of the so-called conspiracy people who blew the lid off this whole anti-human agenda. It's because we said out loud what most of us were thinking, that we're still somewhat free. So before you judge your crazy, racist, misogynist friends, know this. There's nothing in it for us. We take all the heat, we take all the insults, and we deal with the consequences and the censorship and the loss of revenue and the assassination of character so we can make all of us free. And that includes you. So next time you see one of your crazy conspiracy friends, do your future, your family, and yourself a favor and show them some respect.
Hell yeah. The unsung heroes of all this. It's uncomfortable at dinners. It's uncomfortable in social outings. You know, you can't keep your mouth shut. But they can basically, their standard of living is slightly better because of the resistance. It's weird, right? The resistance gets called crazy and, you know, you're a lunatic and how dare you, right? And meanwhile, it all comes back to Jack Nicholson and you can't handle the truth. And you want us on the streets. You want us fighting back. You want us on that wall. What did Joseph Sushak? Ribeyes and T-bones are often about $9 a pound in Miami. Well, Joe Sushak, I gotta, Miami sounds pretty good. People talk well about, aren't the Wicks from Florida? Or did I get that wrong? I heard good things about Florida. If it was easy, I still think 2 years. I put a little post out yesterday on Twitter. 2 years. Pensacola. They're a long way from Miami. Well, you see, up here in Kanadistan, I just think you live in Florida, you live in Florida. You know what I mean? It's like if you live in Manitoba, you live in Winnipeg, right? Isn't Manitoba, the province itself, like 3 or 4 times bigger than Florida, but completely empty? So empty that you could drive for 8 hours straight up to Thompson and basically not even turn. It's just a straight line. Deaths and defecations, horrible drivers in Miami. Well, you haven't been to Winnipeg, my friend, because in Winnipeg, we have this going on. We have East Indian driving schools teaching East Indians how to drive. And if you don't see what's wrong with that, I'll tell you what's wrong with that. Most of them can't drive. They don't. They're getting. It's like the telephone game. By the time they've taught them how to drive, the rules and regulations are so askewed from the actual what you have to do and not do. So like Duke and I are driving when we drive to jiu-jitsu, we're just like on high alert on people because it's almost like I'm now driving with complete NPCs. that don't even know the rules of the simulation. They're just drifting over to the lane, honk, honk, or, stop sign. What are stop signs, right? And then, of course, the roundabouts we have. It's like as soon as I come to a roundabout, it's like I don't automatically take my right of way, because that would be crazy. Because now I'm assuming that everyone knows how they work, and they don't. Because once someone from an East Indian driving school teaches an East Indian how to drive, when they get to these roundabouts, that song in Mario Brothers, when they go down the pipe, because they don't know what's going on now. What is this? What is this? Who goes? And so, just out of panic, they floor it. It's actually comical if it wasn't so dangerous. Miami drivers are insanely bad. We have so many people from South and Central America who have been just learning for over a decade. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, it's a huge problem, because if you don't know how to drive, especially in Winnipeg, we're talking, so now think about it. It's winter too, right? So even a good driver in Winnipeg, there's this window where we all kind of forget how to drive in winter when the first snowfall. So now you have scared drivers who don't really know how to drive in the best of scenarios. Now it's snowing, so it's double. And it's snowing, so they're driving like 5K, down a 60. And it's not like there's snow on it. It's just snowing. And it's just a nightmare. And it takes about a month for people to acclimatize to how to drive on, snow, slightly slippery, but not really. Miami is a mix of very old and foreign drivers. Hey, Miami is starting to sound a lot like Winnipeg, debts and defecations. Because that's what Winnipeg is. Very old drivers. Yeah, I almost have to cool it. Like, Duke's getting pretty, I don't know what you'd call it. But when one of these NPC cars go into our lane and I'm honk, and I'm like slamming on the brakes, Duke can't wait to see who's driving. And whoever's driving, he will look at me and go, and 9 times out of 10, he's like, East Indian. Like, I don't know if I've taught you well or I've created a monster. I don't know what's going on. E-money, I'd get a rust bucket Nissan Sentra in case they hit it. Yeah, I mean, the good news is that we won't really have cars pretty soon. Well, I'll just take robots. No, I love my car. I get it. But you won't love paying human insurance, right? It'll be like one of those, it's not mandatory. It's not mandatory to get the human insurance, but you can't drive without it. Or you can just take a robot. So we'll do the math. You can pay insurance. So it will be for the elite. The smart money. Maybe it's us. Maybe it's us. Maybe because we're Bitcoiners, we'll be the only one that can afford human insurance. But at that point, you will probably enjoy not driving. You're just getting shit done in your car, right? That's if we're not living in a, did I see 15-minute city somewhere? No, 15-minute city. Then you won't even need a car. You'll just take, a robot to your grocery store or what have you. Won't make for a fun time. Anyway, you should make a video based on the Mario beat. You mean the is that how it goes? Yeah. So sometimes when I'm, wondering how I deal with the crack pipe and Duke, crack pipe being video games, I remember to my all-nighters of Super Mario 3, where my cousins and I would literally play all weekend long, all night. We would have blisters on our thumbs, right? From just playing those little, remember the little The controls are like this big. Play it all night. And you get to the point where when you're almost beating Super Mario 3, you had to do it like the Ocean's 11 dance guy over the lasers. Remember? That's how he got that little thing. You had to do everything coordinated perfectly, and you just learned each move. Oh, that one's wrong, but you still had to remember everything anyway. So it's not like I was immune to video games. We played it. I don't know where our parents were because no one said go to bed. It's 4 a.m, right? We're playing all night long. Anyway, last little bit here on the 4-hour chart. If we don't do anything today, which again, if you missed the video on mom and dad rules, technical analysis is mom rules, fundamentals are dad. So while there's no dad rules / fundamentals coming down the pipe, it's just business as usual. Lunch is at noon. Dinner's at 6. Go out and play after school. After dinner, you're going to read some books or do piano lessons. These are mom rules, right? And then the market just kind of bounces around from lunch to dinner to piano to reading to bedtime. Brush your teeth. These are mom rules, right? This is a market not moving. Just mom rules. And then all of a sudden, goosh, the door opens. Holy shit, dad's home. And dad just says, hey, actually, we're going out to Swiss Chalet for dinner. And that's it. Make sure you like and subscribe and share this video.